Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Conversations with the Fly Aunt. I am your host, Ebony Ivory, and we have made it to another year. Yay! All right, so I'm in studio alone, so I'm going to do something here and give you guys some recipe ideas for the week. You know, I love to cook, and some of these recipes can be found on my YouTube page, The Fly On. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, don't forget to put in the comments, give me some recipe ideas as well. So, for the week, I'm going to give you 5 recipes for the week, and these are just dinner recipes, okay? So we're going to get 5. The other 2 days, take a break, order fast food, or if you're lucky enough to have someone cook for you, I'm jealous. No, not really. I'm happy for you. Okay, so my dinner ideas for this week. 1, we have beef stew. I like it with yellow rice. You know, throw a little turmeric in there to make your rice yellow. So beef stew and yellow rice. Another quick and easy dinner meal that I like to prepare is something simple. It's just sausage and peppers, and you can have an additional veggie, or if you want to, you can just do rice with that as well. Another meal is baked chicken with asparagus. I love, love, love asparagus. So baked chicken and asparagus. And another thing you can also do, let's go ahead and close it out with some chow mein. Chow mein is such a simple and underrated dish you can make. You can add chicken, shrimp, cabbage, your veggies, and chow mein, and you have a simple, easy dinner that will take you less than 25 minutes. And again, you can go to my TikTok and you can see all of these recipes being made. So don't forget to follow me on social media, The Fly On TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Now let's get into this episode. All right, so today's episode, we are going to discuss, drum roll please, being single. Bum, bum, bum. Yes, being single. And there is nothing wrong with being in your single girl or guy era. So, yes, I know you're saying, Auntie, we talking about being single. That could be a little bit depressing. But I want us to talk about some ways that we can cope with being single and how we can actually use our single time to grow and to improve on oneself. And this information that I'm going to give you is not only just for specifically to women, because I am a woman as well, but it can be used for men, can use these tips as well. So please share this with other people that you think may benefit from it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my single journey, and then we'll get into some of the things that I've done to kind of cope with being single. So for me, what I've been single for about 3 years, and I've been told by the social media therapist that you shouldn't get back into a relationship until you are ready to love like you've never loved before. And doesn't that sound so whimsical and romantic and all of the things are the things, but it's like we done been through some stuff, and I don't know if I'm trying to love like I've never loved before. But that's what this episode is dedicated to building ourselves back up and kind of rejuvenating our love tank, so to speak. So we've often heard this term, the best love is self-love. And that is absolutely accurate, and it is absolutely true, because you have to love yourself to a certain degree where your boundaries are in check, with what you tolerate and what you want is up to par. So in your singlehood, the first thing that we have to do is acknowledge and accept the fact that we are now single. Because in singleness, you are going to miss your routine that you shared with your partner. You know, that may be, for example, when something is good, that person was the person you called. When something went bad, that is the person that you called. And guess what? If you are operating in your disconnection of your singleness correctly, that person should not have any access to you unless you have children. However, it should only be about the children. And we can talk about it in the comments. If you disagree with me, I totally understand and I get it. But you didn't break up with them for any null and void reason. It was a real reason why you chose to disconnect in the first place. So when you have those moments in your singleness now, this is not the person that you're going to be communicating with anymore. What is it that you should do? What do you do? For me personally, I've worked on strengthening my friendships that I already have in place. Now, some of y'all may say, oh, well, because you ain't got no man, now you want to use your friends and da-da. No. My friends, I've already communicated with them and we talk about my good times, my highs, my lows, my peaks and my valleys. But in this season, I'm single. I'm going to use that time to invest more into my friendships and strengthen my friendships even more. So that's something that you can do. So the next thing is, also you have when you become newly single, it's like an empowering moment because you've built a life with somebody and everything you do, when you're in a relationship, always encompasses another person. Like if you plan a trip, like you're thinking about if that person is coming with you or how you're going to move around their schedule if they're unable to come with you. Like your relationship, you're always encompassing another person. So it's very empowering where now, wait, I don't have to think about anybody else. I don't have to, run this idea across them first that I want to go on a trip by myself or I want to do something. Like all of this power is yours. You don't have to concern yourself with anybody else but you. That is a very empowering thing. And people, sometimes you don't really realize it. So that's another thing. You're just empowered to just concern yourself with yourself. So while we're concerning ourselves with ourselves, what are some things that we should be doing? Well, the first thing I would say is you should be going into therapy if you can. If you're not able to go into therapy, you should find reliable resources such as books and videos that can help you through your singleness. So for me, I read a lot about how to heal and about how to cope with my singleness because I was in a relationship for a very long time. So I did not know who Ebony Ivory was outside of being with this person. So you go on a journey of self-discovery. Like, what do you actually like? Did you only like this because that's something that the other person enjoyed and you all enjoyed that together? Those are questions that you're going to start to ask yourself. Who am I outside of this relationship? Because a lot of us do a lot of bending, compromising to go along to get along and to keep the relationship progressing. And sometimes you lose yourself, your own person and identity because you're so locked in and tied to someone else. So another thing that we should also focus on is establishing a new routine. Because look, you may have had your routine. Okay, so like in the mornings, we may have eaten breakfast together. We'd have our morning conversations on the way to work. Then we reconnected at lunch. And then maybe at home, then we sat and we ate dinner. That's not an option that's available to you anymore. So what can we do differently? So we're going to give you some ideas on a new routine you can establish in your singleness. So many of us, we hit the gym. We get that body we be already cute and snatched. The guys be already buff and tough, but a lot of us resort to the gym, working out, getting that energy and putting it out, taking it out on the weights, on the treadmill. That's great. That's a great option. But what other things can you do? So again, we mentioned, you can strengthen your friendships, strengthen your bonds. You can do that, but you can also become one with nature. I've mentioned before, I'm a big outdoors girl. I like to be outdoors. I love the sun. I love the trees and all of that stuff. Let's start getting and connecting with nature. Another thing that I would highly recommend is something that I did. Create a bucket list. No, we ain't dying, but it's a good thing to have. Creating a bucket list allows you to refocus your mind and start focusing on you, because that's the path that you need to pour into yourself. Everything that you've invested in this other person, now that energy is free to pour back into you. So creating a bucket list will allow you to visually, because I'm big on visuals, to visually see all the things that it is that you want to do and start making it a reality. Like really plan out some stuff. And guess what? A bucket list doesn't have to be so grandiose. It doesn't have to be traveling to Ghana for Dirty December, all of those things. It could be the simplest of things. It could be reorganizing your garage, redecorating your room. Another things that I would recommend is finding hobbies. I started painting. Now, at first, my little paintings gave depression, very dark colors and all of those things. But as I progressed through, my paintings got lighthearted and fun, and they actually look pretty good. You can go to places like the Dollar Tree or Five Below and get little painting supplies that, shouldn't hit you in the pocket too hard, and you can start your painting journey. Another thing I got into was bingo. Yes, I am the fly aunt, and I like to play bingo down to the bingo hall. Yes, indeed. So I play bingo. So those are just some of the things you can incorporate. Like reading does a lot for you. I mean, not only, knowledge is power, but there are so many great authors out here that have been on this journey and they can articulate everything down to the T for you. And not saying that everything that I'm saying is subjective, and it's just a message that I want to present to you guys just to open up the conversation and to get you flowing into the right direction. What I'm saying is not Bible. This is just some of the stuff that I did in my singleness. Another thing that I did, I wanted to meet new people. I wanted to open up my tribe, right? So for example, on dating app Bumble, there's a side for, if you're looking for love and relationships, right? And then there's a side that you're looking for friendships. So I put myself out there looking for friendships because I wanted to extend my tribe. Like many of you all, you may experience your friends, can be all over the country. Not everybody is local to you. So that's what I did. I'm not a person that subscribes to no new friends. I believe that we can meet people at any stage of our life, and we should open ourselves up to having more meaningful connections with people. So that's something that I did. That's actually how I met a really great friend that I have now, and we still communicate. So it's very important to open up yourself. So that's one way you can try to meet new people. Another thing is if you're wanting to date, right? And I get it. If you've I was in a relationship for a really long time and I was really excited and I wanted to date. Be mindful of the dating apps that you choose, because some project different types of tones. I'll just say that. So just be mindful of that. But you can get on the dating side and you can try to meet and mingle with people on the dating apps. Whatever you're dating, whatever you prescribe to for that is fine. But I would also say going out more, you're going to meet people. Listen, some people, if you want to rely on the Amazon man, the FedEx man, the UPS man to come to your house and y'all just magically fall in love, sister, that is not happening. Because guess what? They don't even ring the doorbell anymore. They drop off the package in their hotel. So you're not meeting your love through Amazon, FedEx, or any type of delivery. Keep your money, your coin in your pocket. Get out here, start participating in the activities that you like to participate in, and you will start to meet people in those arenas. And the great thing about that is they like the same things that you like. So eventually, if it grows into something, you guys have a baseline connection. There won't be any pulling of teeth to try to get someone to come along with you to a sip and paint or anything like that. So now that we've talked about that, how you can meet new people, establish a new routine, I want to get into what singleness feels like sometimes, okay? Because I know, traveling and crafting and getting out and sharing your experiences, doing things on your bucket list, all of that feels good and that is great. But I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to share some of the things that I've been experiencing in my singleness. All right, so let me switch up and get a little bit more comfortable here. We're going to switch gears a little bit because, baby, it's a doozy. Okay, so for me, some of the things that I've experienced in being single, right? I have a huge king-size bed. And for some reason, again, Auntie says she's been single 3 years. I still sleep on one side of the bed. I still sleep on that same side of the bed that my significant other, that part is open. And I sleep on my same side of the bed. I've tried, and it was even a part of my New Year's resolution, to start sleeping in the middle of the bed. But in my mind, I think subconsciously and maybe consciously, I feel like if I sleep in the middle of the bed, then that's really totally sealing the deal that I'm single. Like, this is something that people don't really talk about, right? Another thing for me is I feel the loneliness aspects of it. I miss the companionship. Like, some may say, oh, I do have 3 children, right? And, they're teenagers and adults. And some people, well, how are you lonely and you have kids? Easy. What I would share with my companion or my significant other, those things are not for me to share with my children. And also, listen to Poisonous Parenting. If you haven't, go under the playlist on YouTube, The Fly Aunt, and listen to Poisonous Parenting. I talk about this as well. But yeah, the things that I want to share with a companion, I'm not sharing that with my kids. So yes, loneliness does set in when you are single. And guess what? It's okay. Sometimes we have to learn as people that everything is not a quick fix. Sometimes you have to sit in your lonely girl era so that you can be a better you. And there is nothing wrong with that. So yes, there's times I sit and I'm like, I'm lonely. I want somebody. But then there's times where I'm like, I have my peace. I sleep good at night. Nobody is lying to me. I'm not My anxiety is not all up. I'm not concerned with anybody else's emotions. I only have to deal with my own. And as a woman in her 40s, that's something that I'm coming to appreciate. Just being able to focus on myself. It's hard to let go and disconnect from a relationship. I know that. I lived it and I understand that. But you have so much more to gain. Getting to know myself on my single journey, getting to really set my value, set my standards, set my boundaries has been an amazing process. More times than not, people are so aware of what it is that they don't want, that they don't take the time to actually think about what it is that they want in this season. Like, what do you really want? I'm not talking about things that can be purchased, that are tangible. Like, what do you really want from another person? And not only that, are you a representation of what you want? Like, would you date yourself? Let me know in the comments. Would you actually date you? And that's where I'm at on my single journey. I want to be a representation and reflection of what it is that I want. So guess what I've been doing? I've been reading. I've been working. I've been putting action. Like, I've been working on myself actively. Like, I've even gone to my ex and said, hey, what are the things that you felt like in our relationship that I could have improved upon? And of course, things may be a little bit geared to him, but just because now I'm in the space that I can receive this information and open enough and willing enough to let him tell me, like, yeah, sometimes I feel like you didn't listen enough. Or sometimes I just wanted you to listen. I didn't necessarily want your opinion. Or, just slow down just a little bit and just let me be your man. Those kind of things. So I think it's important, just like, on a job interview or when you get feedback on your annual review, it's nothing wrong with, in my opinion, getting feedback from your ex on what it is that you could do better and where they think things went wrong. Now, will things be a little skewed? Maybe, but you're getting the feedback. And I'm a believer in, when you hear a message, taking what you need and leaving the rest. Because everything can't be untrue, because this is the closest person's proximity to you at this time. So I want to pull out my little trusty pusty iPad here, and we're going to go over some other things. See, I got rid of my notepad because the people was reading me about me writing down my notepad and the things that I was doing. So I want to get into that. So I want people to understand in your singleness too, right? I think some people oftentimes confuse the relationship and companionship, right? Some people are just looking for companionship. Not everybody is looking for a relationship. So I think that's something that we all need to keep in mind in your single journey. Are you looking for a relationship or are you looking for companionship? So I looked up the definition of people relationship, and I got a relationship is a close connection between two people, especially one involving romantic or sexual feelings, right? And then, so that was the definition of relationship. But companionship is kind of the same thing, minus the romance and the sexual feelings. So I think it's important to decipher what it is you want. Do you want companionship or do you want a relationship? And then once you decide what it is that you want out of that, you can kind of gear which way you want to take with your healing journey and sitting in your singleness. For me personally, I'm just interested in companionship for right now because I'm working on myself being the reflection of what it is that I want. Because I believe in karmic energy. What you put out into the universe is what you'll get back and what you'll receive. So I'm in a state where I'm just worried. I'm just worried about working on Ebony and showing up as the best woman that I could show up as, the best mom, daughter, aunt, cousin, all of the things. That's what my energy is focused on, is really healing. And I can tell you that this past year, my vision board that I created, I did everything on my vision board. I did everything. And I'm a believer in this. You should not be creating multiple vision boards until you complete one, right? So my vision board sat for 2 years and I completed every one of those. And on the vision board was, of course, a healthy relationship. That's what the picture meant to me. And I'm not in a relationship with anybody, but the relationship that I've established with myself through this healing journey and growing and sitting with myself and sitting with my feelings and my emotions, that's the best relationship I'll ever have. And I'm also a believer in this. It's important, guys, for us to be whole human beings before we get into a new relationship. You should absolutely be whole on your own. You shouldn't be depending upon someone else for your happiness. That is so important. Like, yes, my children give me joy. Yes, this person that I may be dating could give me joy. But ultimately, your happiness has to come from within. You really, really have to take that seriously. Your happiness cannot come from somebody else. It has to come from you. So I also have learned too, during this time of my singleness, I put myself on a pedestal. I treat myself very, very well. I think all of the things that we expect from a partner or a significant other, you should do for yourself. Like, for example, if you love flowers, if you like dates, going out to eat, you should be comfortable enough to go in the grocery store or wherever you want to purchase your own flowers for yourself on a weekly basis. However often you want to go out on a date yourself. Take yourself out on a date. I love Longhorn. I love a good steak, medium. Please don't overcook the steak. Some of y'all kill the steak twice. That's another conversation. But I love to go out to Longhorn and just sit by myself and enjoy my own company. It be quiet. You hear that steak being cut up on that plate, and I enjoy myself. I date myself. So flowers, going out to dates, and also be a little bit more self-absorbed. There's nothing wrong with taking that energy you used to pour into a significant other and then pouring that back into yourself. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Or even this, I'm sure for me, there were times where I am exchanging communication, trying to get somebody else to do what I wanted them to do in order for us to be happy, right? Some people, that can be so exhausting. All of that exhausting energy you used to pour into somebody else, pour that into yourself by making yourself more happy. And just what I would say is just putting yourself on a pedestal, words of affirmation about yourself. Even put it on the calendar, set an alarm. Talk to me nice. Talk to yourself nice. Be kinder to yourself. All of those things. Also, in the singleness, you have more time to dedicate to yourself, to the things that you want to do. Like, you don't have to operate on anybody else's schedule. Do you understand that? Like, what a good feeling that is. Like, I don't have to worry about what somebody else is doing, work, whatever they got going on, ain't none of my business. As long as these children is taken care of, I'm going to do me. So another thing is, with all of those things, you have busy work, right? And that's okay. But you want to have productive work, right? I'm like anybody else. I like to enjoy my TV shows, all of those things. Start tapping into what your spiritual gifts are, or what your gifts are, right? Because I want you all to know something. We are not just here to work and pay bills, okay? Everyone here has a purpose. You have to know that and understand that. You're not here to just work and pay bills, be a mom, be a dad, be in service to other people. In your singleness is the perfect time to start tapping into your spiritual gifts. And I would say, if you're a person that believes in God, a follower of Christ, what have you, put it out into the universe. What is it that I'm supposed to be doing? Be intentional and focus on learning what your gifts are and how you can tap into them and monopolize on those gifts. Because again, I'm going to say it again, you are not here just to work and pay bills and take up space. You have a greater being, a greater purpose on why you are here. And I highly recommend you start tapping into that. I would also do this. I took a lot of time being grateful for my relationship, having an attitude of gratitude, right? Because even though the relationship may not have bared the fruit that you have set out for it to bear, I can guarantee you've learned a lot from that. Tap into those moments of what it is that you've learned from being in that relationship. Because just because it ended doesn't mean it was all negative. Everything about it was negative. I'm sure there were good times to be had. You have to just tap into what were the good things about this relationship? What did it show me? You have an attitude of gratitude for the things that you've learned and accomplished through the relationship. And also too, another thing that when you're newly single, you'll kind of run into, and this is when you think of that person, like a special moment, or when you're walking somewhere or you see something and you're like, oh, this person, I think they would have liked this, or that's something that they would have found funny. What do you do in those moments? So I'm going to say this. You have the moment. But in preparation, because you know you're going to have the moments, you're going to need to start to think of other things when you switch gears, right? So for any kind of negative thought that I have, and not all the relationship moments are negative, but this is just an example of what I do. When I'm having a negative thought, I immediately switch it to, God, that's not of you, or I switch to something positive. You're going to start making money in your sleep. Have little things that you can prepare yourself to mind switch. It's just like when you're on a diet and you're walking in the store and you see like some chicken or some greasy chips you ain't supposed to be eating. You got to self-prepare to say, no, you can't have that. That's not worthy of your body. It doesn't serve your body. Have those things prepared in your mind when those things come up. And also, there is nothing wrong in your singleness to date multiple people. I say date them all. Enjoy having and exploring your options. That is what being single is about. I don't care what other people say, if they downplay the fact of dating multiple people and making it seem like a bad thing. As long as you're not saying that you're exclusive and you're in a relationship with somebody, you're single. Date them all. Find out what it is that you want. You have to date people in order to know what it is that you're looking for and what it is that you want. You know, if you don't explore other people and get to know other people, how do you really know what's out there? And I think sometimes, as a Black woman, my dating experience is limited because I was just so relationship focused. So I think it's important to date and to find out what it is that you actually like. So that is the episode in regards to coping with singleness, being newly single, and getting those things all figured out. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please don't forget to engage with me on my social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, The Fly Aunt. Again, all of the podcasts are anywhere you get your podcasting from. So we're on platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and some other podcasting platforms. And let's connect. Let's get to know each other. Also, in addition, if you want to support The Fly Aunt or advertise with Conversations with The Fly Aunt, reach out to me via email, conversationswiththeflyaunt@gmail.com. Let's work together. Let's grow your brand. Let's grow your business. And thank you so much for sitting and spending time with me today as I talk about my single journey. Till the next episode. Bye-bye.